legislation. Just to get us started, the brain's ticking over, our little minimum employment conditions quiz. So, first one, ordinary time or ordinary hours usually defined in employment agreements. If they're not, what does the minimum wage specify them at?
It's the maximum number.
Yeah.
50?
No, 40.
Is it actually 40?
Yeah, it actually says in the minimum wage at 40. If it's not specified in your employment agreement, which they can specify in your employment agreement, then 40 is the maximum.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now, lots of people work more than 40.
Yeah.
It just needs to be put in the employment agreement.
Yeah.
If an employee is required to work overtime, then what are they entitled to?
D.
Yes, good. So there used to be sort of you had to get sort of higher levels of compensation for overtime, so it was quite desirable to do overtime.
Yeah.
But now it's basically whatever's specified in your employment agreement. So sometimes overtime is only getting paid at your usual rate, which is not as desirable. But sometimes employment agreements might say you get time and a half or double time or whatever, so that's quite beneficial. In regards to breastfeeding employees, what are employers required to provide?
C.
Yes, that's right. Employers must provide appropriate facilities and breaks. So the breaks aren't necessarily paid.
Yeah.
You're allowed to do your breastfeeding in your paid breaks, like your morning tea and your morning and afternoon tea breaks.
Yeah.
But if you need further breaks than that, then those are unpaid breaks. But they have to provide a place where you can go to do that.
Yeah.
And under the Flexible Working Arrangements Amendment Act, employees were given the right to ask for flexible work arrangements on what grounds?
I had no idea, but I just put A.
It was D, actually. So initially with that legislation, you had to have caring responsibilities for another individual and have worked for the employer for the last 6 months. And I believe that got modified, and now you have to work for the employer for the last 6 months, but you can ask for flexible work for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
So it's not just for caring responsibilities.
Yes, it's fun.
Yeah, that's right. So anyone can request them, but the employer doesn't have to grant them.
Yeah.
The employer just has to respond to your request.
Yeah.
Can't just ignore it. The Equal Pay Act sets out a requirement for employers to remunerate employees equitably, regardless of gender, ethnicity, religion, marital status, etc. True or false?
True.
It's a tricky one. It's actually false because the Equal Pay Act is just based on gender.
Is it just gender?
Yeah, so for the Equal Pay Act, they really only focus on male, female.
Really?
It's the Human Rights Act that
Human
would
Rights Act.
cover discrimination based on the ethnicity, the religion, marital status, etc. Gosh, I put a tricky one in there, didn't I? That was just mean. Okay. Under the Wages Protection Act, employers are not allowed to make deductions for which of the following reasons?
C.
Yeah. So where the employee breaks or damages the equipment, and it's not stated in the employment agreement. Okay, so if you drop a tray full of glasses and you're a barmaid, they're allowed to make a deduction only if that's specified in your employment agreement. If it's not, then they can't do it. Obviously, they have to make PAYE, tax, not text, deductions. They have to make child support payment reduction payments, and they're allowed to withhold payment if there's an unauthorised absence, but not for them. Wages Protection Act requires employers to pay wages in cash.
False.
It's actually true.
Oh, no.
It's so annoying. But we agree, what that is basically covering is that they can't force you to take your payment in goods or services. Or
I just didn't even think about that. Cash doesn't actually just mean cash.
No, it means, basically, a direct credit into your bank account is sort of cash, basically. Yeah. And also, you can specify that in the employment agreement. Under the Employment Relations Act and the Minimum Wage Act, wages records must be available for how many years?
A?
Yeah, 7. And it's in line with the tax records as well. Minimum employer contribution for KiwiSaver is currently what percentage?
2.
Yeah, you should have got, none of those are correct. It's actually 3. I need to update my quiz. It was 2, and it's now 3.
They've gone up.
Yeah, we know. I can't remember exactly when. But yeah, our minimum employer and employee contribution is 3%. Under the Holidays Act, employees are entitled to which annual leave?
D.
Yes, 4 weeks after 12 months of continuous employment, exactly. And since 1st April 2011, employees are able to be paid out for 1 week of annual leave, true or false?
True.
Yes, that's right. So prior to that, yeah, you couldn't be paid out, but when they increased the entitlement from 3 weeks to 4 weeks, then they also said, right, well, we can also get paid out for annual leave. And the whole reason why you're not supposed to get paid out for annual leave is that annual leave is in there to protect employees' well-being.
Yeah.
It's there to protect health and well-being, essentially, is to make sure that you have a certain amount of breaks each year.
Yeah.
For those who are on casual agreements, how we calculate their holiday pay?
A or C.
C, yes, 8%.
Yeah, so I did A and crossed out and then C.
So basically 4 weeks annual leave equates to 8% of your gross annual earnings.
Oh, yeah.
And when it was 3 weeks, it was 6%. So yeah, they call it pay as you go holiday pay. So
yeah.
If you're casual, then you just get paid an extra 8% on top of
pay. Yeah.
11 paid public holidays in New Zealand, which is not one of them.
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, New Year's Eve, good. You're working in a pharmacy open 365 days a year. You usually work Monday to Friday. You've been asked to work on Labour Day, even though it's a public holiday. What are your entitlements?
Time and a half and a day and loan.
Good, time and a half and a day and loan. Now, but yep. Okay. What if Monday wasn't your usual day of work?
What, for holidays?
Yeah, if they asked you to work on Monday, but Monday wasn't your usual day of work.
You get the same time and a half day and loan. What do you get double pay for?
You get normal pay, but you get the day and loan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's they have to look at whether or not it's your usual day of work.
Mm.
An employee is eligible for 5 days paid sick leave in a 12-month period after.
Yeah, A.
No, I think it's B.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to have an average of 10 hours a week and 40 hours per month over a 6-month period.
Oh.
Employer can require a medical certificate for sick leave up to how many days?
3.
Yes, that's right. Under the Holidays Act, employees who have been continuously employed for 6 months are entitled to pay for bereavement leave of?
D.
No, it's A. 1 day for a friend or acquaintance, 3 days for a family member. A lot of employers act on their own discretion when it comes to bereavement leave. They'll need much more than 3 days if it's a close family member. So
Yes,
it's just really good. But anyway, that's the legal entitlement. Anna, who has just been working at the pharmacy for 6 months and has just found out she is pregnant, what is she entitled to?
I actually didn't know this one.
Well, that's because none of them are correct.
Oh,
That's because it's so out of date. None of them are correct. Those are so she's entitled, if she's only been working, the answer changes if she's been working for 6 months or if she's been working for 12 months.
Oh,
But if she's only been working for 6 months, she's entitled to take up to 26 weeks of parental leave, which is 18 weeks primary
When did this come out? I didn't know about that.
Hey?
How long has this been around? I didn't know about that.
Which the change.
Yeah.
It changes regularly. Like this is the problem with the legislation is pretty much like your primary care leave is changing. It's actually going from 18 weeks to 22 weeks from the 1st of July, and then from the 1st of July, I think 2019, it's going up to 26 weeks.
Yeah.
So, or 24 weeks, I can't remember exactly. So it continues to increase, especially under a Labour government. But that was one of their commitments. But yes, there are different levels of entitlement. So she'll be entitled to some primary care leave and some extended leave. But yeah, you're only entitled to the full 52 weeks of extended leave if you've been working there for over 12 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wishing you that?
I left my first job as a market and went to a second job, but I stayed there because I wasn't there a whole year.
Yeah, so you didn't get your entitlement.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, it's 5 years ago anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so that gets us thinking about our employment legislation. Oh, last week we didn't actually quite finish off, did we? We got through some of, we got a little bit interested in some of the legislation we were talking about, so we better go back and just finish off what we were doing last week.
Yeah, that's right.
We looked at the Treaty of Waitangi, we looked at the Employment Relations Act, good faith, strikes and lockouts, personal grievances, resolving disputes, and then we were going to come back to the Minimum Wage Act. So the Minimum Wage Act basically is the legislation that sets out, what is the minimum entitlements.
Yeah.
And it is slightly different, so there's the normal adult rate, and then you can have a starting out rate and a training rate, which is slightly different, slightly lower.
Yeah.
And you can get an exemption from minimum wage where somebody has a significant and demonstrable limitation or disability of some sort. So
Okay.
that's the only time when you can agree to sort of pay lower than a minimum wage.
Okay. That seems a bit weird, but
Yeah, we have to get an exemption from
Yeah.
PNB for that, basically. So,
yeah.
because, there are times where, you want to be able to employ people who might have a physical or mental disability,
Yeah.
but their work capacity is actually reduced or less than what a fully functioning person might.
True, but you're
Yeah.
hiring them anyway.
But you want to hire them anyway, you want to give them that opportunity, so this is a way that it's sort of subsidised essentially.
Oh, yeah.
So you just got to keep an eye out for the minimum wage act, because that tends to go up every year as well.
Yeah, sure.
On the 1st of April, so regularly changes. There's also the Wages Protection Act, which we've sort of talked about briefly with that quiz. So it must be paid when it's due. The employer can make deductions for board and lodging, maximum 15% or 55%.
Oh, yeah.
Damages or loss of overpaid wages, but only if specified in the employment agreement. And they can make deductions where they have to legally, so PAYE, KiwiSaver, child support, student loan.
Yeah.
And so it's really, the Wages Protection Act is really there to, as it says, protect the employee and make sure that they're getting paid their wages as they're supposed to. And occasionally we see in the news little examples of times where employers haven't really been doing that.
Yeah.
Usually with,
Well,
it's often with the sort of minority groups or people who are, sort of second tier sort of employees who might just be desperate for the work and accept those working conditions essentially. We also covered briefly in that quiz the Holidays Act. So the Holidays Act essentially says, how much annual leave we can have, and also covers us for public holidays, sick leave, bereavement leave, etc. So we really have looked at some of those entitlements already. It does get really tricky, and you keep seeing examples of employers who get these calculations wrong. There was just one the other day in the news. Just see that? I can't remember.
It was the same,
So we saw the one with like Smith City not paying the staff for their
and then there was
morning
someone else
meetings.
after that.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Oh yeah, there were other examples. But there was another one where the calculated, how was it? Might have even been a government agency. Gosh, I wish I could remember. They calculated that they owed past employees, millions of dollars worth of like, holiday pay entitlements, just because they've calculated these things slightly wrong in their payroll systems.
Yeah.
So the payroll systems get set up,
Yeah.
with the data, and it's supposed to accrue your holiday entitlements correctly.
Yeah.
If it's not doing that, then the employer is still liable to,
So did they have to pay it all out for people or not?
They're just trying to work that out.
Yeah.
So the Ministry of Employment New Zealand, Ministry of Business Innovation and Employment actually tries to make it easy for employers, you know, because it's easy when you work a 9 to 5 job, 5 days a week, you know, 52 weeks a year, right? But when your job is shift work or casual work, or casual work is the 8%, so that's not so bad. But your shift work or your irregular hours or those sorts of things, that's when it gets hard to work out whether or not you're entitled, what you're entitled to.
Yeah.
So, you know, for example, in that quiz where she's working at the pharmacy and she's not, you know, is it her usual working day? Well, if you're doing shift work, how do you calculate what your usual working day is?
Yeah, well, you just go by hours, like your usual working hours.
Yeah, but it gets complicated. They actually provide this little otherwise working day calculator that you can use to try and work it out. I'll show you. Here it is. So which industry are you in? Because it's often the sort of cafe, it's hospitality that's often affected. Are you an employee? Next. What type of holiday or leave day does your query relate to? Public holidays. Was it a public holiday? Yes. Did you work? Yes. Did you work for the employer only on public holidays? No, I work for other days as well. What is your employment arrangement? So then you have to work out your permanent fixed term at your own call. So say we say you're called on the day required. Next. Do you work for the employer only when work is available? Yes. Do you provide services for another who is not the employer? No. Would normal work have been available? Yes. Was there an arrangement that you would work in some situations? No. Were you called on to work? Yes. This would be a day that would otherwise be a working day for you, which means that it's a paid day off. Okay? So you're entitled to, or if you work, you're entitled to an alternative holiday. You know, so then it gives you a summary of how you answer, so that you can go through that as the employer or the employee.
Yeah.
And try and calculate what the arrangement actually is. Because, it's all good and well saying you're entitled to take these public holidays, or if you work, you're entitled to time and a half and a day in lieu. But that's only if it's your usual day of work, and how do we know if that's your usual day of work?
Yeah.
So very complicated. That's what I'm kind of trying to point out, I guess. All right. Go for it. I would be uncomfortable.
Just hold them here, though.
I found some articles from 2016 where they had, it was in the news a lot in 2016 about the holiday pay glitch, but
Oh, yeah.
$35 million has been paid back in outstanding holiday pay. Oh my God, that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot. So, but including the police department, Bunnings, and even Datacom, who Datacom do payroll. Like, that's one of their jobs. And it says here that it's the tip of the iceberg. How much money is really owed to people is unknown. The holiday pay problem was first identified at the Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment themselves, which incorrectly paid 3,000 staff the wrong amount of holiday entitlements. And it came about because of change in the Holidays Act legislation.
Yeah.
Which made it a bit more complicated in terms of that calculation that we just looked at.
Yeah.
So the implications are quite significant, obviously.
Yeah.
Parental leave and employment. So that's your key entitlements now they had a big change of the Parental Leave and Employment Act just a year or two ago, where they've kind of made some significant changes. So they've called it primary care leave now, which means that you can actually transfer it from the mother. You could transfer it to the father or to the grandparent or to anybody. If they're going to take on the primary carer role for a new baby, then they would have that entitlement if they worked for that employer for at least 10 hours per week for at least 6 months.
Yeah.
The paid part comes from the government. It doesn't come from the employer. It comes from IRD, and it's set at a maximum amount. So you either get paid what you would normally get paid, or up to a maximum of, I think it's about $530 or something.
What way?
Yeah. So if you normally earn like $1,000 a week, you still only get $530 a week from the government. So that's your primary care leave entitlement, and the good thing is now we can transfer that. It's interesting that there's still no paid parental leave for partners, so it's still 2 weeks of unpaid leave.
Yeah, that is quite
like if you look at European countries, a lot of them actually include quite significant amounts of paid partners leave.
Yeah.
Because they find that's really important to have the dad at home as well.
Yeah. Well, especially in the first few weeks as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
You
can't do it all by yourself.
No.
You need somebody. Anyway, and the extended leave entitlement is only there really if you've worked for the 12 months, so that's where you can take up to the 52 weeks.
Yeah.
And again, you can share that with your partner, but it has to be clear who's taking what.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The most recent thing they've introduced is keeping in touch hours, which is where before you weren't actually allowed to go back to work while you were on your paid parental leave.
Oh, okay.
Now you're allowed to go back in, but only for a maximum of 40 hours, and they call them the keeping in touch, so that you sort of don't lose touch with the employers, with the organisation.
What, so?
They've got it in the UK, they've been doing it a long time in the UK.
So you can go back to work and be getting...
And still get your paid parental leave, but you can only do up to a maximum of 40 hours in that period.
So you get paid from your work and from...
Yeah, you can, yeah, but only for, you can't do it in the first 2, I think it was the first 2 weeks or first 2 months.
Yeah.
Can't remember, but you can look that up, you'll find it. It says, when you look on the Employment New Zealand website and you look up the keeping in touch hours, you'll be able to see what the entitlements are there. I'll know more about it in a few months' time.
Yeah.
But yes, keeping in touch, so up to 40 hours, which is kind of quite handy essentially.
Yeah.
So that's some of that key minimum legislation that we have looked at with that quiz and covered off. But yeah, I guess the key point is that you know where to go. Go to that Employment New Zealand website.
Yeah.
You can get the specific legislation from the New Zealand legislation page, or you can get details about putting it in plain English, how does it all work from the Employment New Zealand website. Okay. And just remembering that it does change quite regularly as the legislation changes. So,
Yeah.
if you end up working in that line of work, just assume that it will.
Yeah. Say you want to work in HR.
Yeah.
Or something. Or, yeah, pretty much HR. Would you study higher than this? Or would you normally just be in a place of employment and then work your way up?
Actually, HR is a really interesting one. There's no real requirement that you have a specific qualification in order to work in HR.
Yeah.
It's not like accounting where you have to have an accounting qualification or a nurse or a doctor. You don't. They are trying to bring more of that into the sort of the field, I guess, and make it more of a professional discipline.
Yeah.
And there are lots of HR qualifications you can do.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are multiple pathways to actually working in HR.
Yeah.
One way is simply, like you say, get your foot in the door
Yeah.
in an organisation, in an administrative type role, move sideways into an HR administrative type role,
Yeah.
and then move upwards into HR coordinator, HR advisor, HR management.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the line, if you're wanting to get into HR management, you'll need a higher level qualification.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it have to be HR specific? Not necessarily, you look at the job advertisements for HR positions, and often it's about HR experience
Yeah.
is what they're asking for, rather than specific HR qualifications. But usually having a higher level qualification will show certain level of skills, and they will ask some kind of, it might be a business qualification, it could be like for example, mine was organisational psychology is also linked to HR, so that you can come into it from that side as well. Multiple options. In fact, I would say if you went and did a degree in HR management, you're still going to struggle to get your foot in the door in an HR administration role. You still have to start at the bottom either way. Because there will be lots of people out there who want to do that.
Yeah.
You still have to work your way up from the bottom.
Yeah.
And the good thing with that is you understand how it works at that bottom level.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't know what's required for HR administration, then how are you going to manage HR as a bigger career? Yeah, but it is heaps to learn, and we really do only skim the surface in this particular paper. So, if it's a field you're interested in.
I think this is probably my favourite class.
Oh, good.
Yay!
Yeah. My one student is heavy. Brilliant. Okay. So this week we wanted to have a look at some more of the legislation that's relevant. So Human Rights Act, Equal Pay Act, Privacy Act, and particularly focus on the Health and Safety at Work Act. So I mentioned in that quiz the difference between the Equal Pay Act and the Human Rights Act. That's a bit cruel, I haven't even covered them yet. So Human Rights Act basically sets out these 13 grounds of discrimination. Yeah, that's it. 12? Might be 13 information privacy principles. No, 12 information privacy principles. Whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You've got these, the grounds for discrimination are gender, marital, as listed there essentially. We can't make employment decisions based on those factors alone, essentially.
Yeah, so what does gender mean though?
Gender? Any gender. Yeah, so I think when you dig into it, it covers male, female, but also like transgender or transsexual or whatever, that comes under sexual orientation, some of that as well. I don't know.
That's what I was just wondering.
It covers the broad spectrum. We can't actually discriminate based on any of those aspects. People identify as, the language changes.
Gender fluid, like.
Yeah, gender fluid. I like it. It's good. It's an interesting way, another way of putting it. But like you say, the language is changing around how.
Definitely.
Marital status. You can't discriminate because somebody's married or not married.
Yeah.
We can't discriminate because because somebody's got kids or hasn't got kids.
Mm.
You can't say, oh, she's got kids, she's going to be off on sick leave all the time.
Yeah.
You know, that's not appropriate. We can't discriminate because you're employed or employed, you know, so and we can't discriminate based on age or all of this. And I mentioned, I think previously, that sometimes on the application form they might ask for ethnicity or age.
Yeah.
Or not age, but date of birth.
Yeah.
But that's because they're collecting that information for the equal employment opportunities data to show that they are an equal employment opportunity provider.
Yeah.
And they keep statistics on who applies, who they interview, who they appoint, so that they can show that they're acting sort of.
So that's kind of to show that they aren't discriminating.
Yeah. Yeah, in some ways, yeah. Well,
because how could you tell if someone's discriminating against you?
Yeah, and this is where if people don't challenge it, if people don't know, if people don't challenge it, it doesn't get picked up. Because employers probably do inadvertently discriminate all the time, right? It's part of it is sort of human nature.
Yeah.
The point is that when you're working in HR, this is why we go back to some of our recruitment and selection practices that we talked about, making sure that they are rigorous and that they are transparent and structured.
Yeah.
The difference between an unstructured interview where we just get somebody in and have a chat.
Yeah.
Go, well, I like her. She plays football and she's, whatever she's got. She's the same religion as me.
Yeah.
We'll ask for an employer.
Yeah.
Versus a structured interview where we go through, well, these are the selection criteria we're looking for. These are the questions that we're asking that relate to those criteria. We're asking all of these candidates the same questions, and then we're scoring their responses and coming out with that kind of approach helps us to avoid this inadvertent discrimination. So this will only get picked up if somebody actually makes a fuss about it. So with these human rights acts, you can go through the Employment Relations Authority if you feel like you've been discriminated against, or you can go to the Human Rights Tribunal if you feel you've been discriminated against. You've got actually two avenues for redress there.
I wonder, what kind of questions you're allowed to ask based around those things during the interview.
So you can't really ask questions around any of them unless they're specifically relevant to the job, So there might be times where, it might be appropriate that you have to be Catholic to work in a Catholic church. Or to work in a Catholic school, maybe, So that would be potentially appropriate. Or that, if you're going to work in a women's lingerie shop, you probably want a female, So that's times when it is appropriate. So it has to be relevant to the job requirements. So you've got to link it back.
Yeah.
You can't say we want a male because we want somebody who can pick up 50 kilos worth of stuff in one go.
Yeah.
That's not okay. We say we want somebody who can pick up 50 kilos of stuff in one go.
Yeah.
That's the job requirement. If you can do it, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's probably more likely that a bloke will be able to do it, but that would be discrimination if we specify that.
Well, something else, questions about being a parent, if I did support me word and stuff like that.
Yeah, the parent one is hard.
Yeah.
The question they can ask, and the question they can ask regarding disability or those sorts of things as well is there anything that would limit your ability to perform the job requirements?
Yes.
Yeah. Or is there anything that would affect your ability to be available for the hours of work required? Yeah. Yeah. And that's when you need to think carefully about your answer. So if you've got kids get sick. And the point is, it's not. They can't ask you whether you've got a support effort. They can ask you whether or not you can meet the hours required for the job. It's up to you to make sure you've got a support network in place so that you can answer that question truthfully and say, there's nothing that's going to affect my ability to perform these hours.
Yeah.
You can manage that. You've got family, you've got other things in place. Or you can manage it within your sick leave entitlements or whatever.
Yeah.
It is a really challenging one. People do discriminate on the family thing. especially with women, a lot.
Yeah.
You know, or the marital, you know, women in their 20s, early 30s, well, we're just going to go off and have a baby. So
Yeah.
we won't employ them.
Yeah.
You know, you can't ask, are you intending to have children in the future?
Yeah.
You know, the only thing you could ask is, you know, what would be your, you know, intentions regarding, you know, working for this organisation? How long might you intend to work for the organisation? Or how long, you know, what you see is your availability for working in this position. You know? So I have to link it back to the job.
Yeah.
Tricky though. One interesting thing in there is that they don't include appearance. There's nothing in there that says you can't discriminate based on whether or not you find somebody attractive or unattractive.
Which is what people do.
Yeah, people do. Especially in hospitality and, you know, those sorts of industries. It's like, you know, they can be quite selective in terms of who they want in the front of house.
Yeah. Well, administration too.
And administration.
Administration.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. So there's kind of a look, and if you don't fit the look, you can.
Yeah.
But that's not actually covered under the Human Rights Act. So there you go.
So, interesting, eh?
It is. Okay. Equal Pay Act, again, I mentioned that is actually just about males and females, and we can't pay differently if they're doing substantially similar work.
Yeah.
And their only difference is their gender.
Yeah.
We can pay them differently if they have different qualifications
Yeah.
or different levels of experience.
Yeah.
You know, whatever, but not if they're essentially the same person, just one's male, one's female.
Yeah.
The Privacy Act, we might not even get to that.
Oh yeah, we've been kind of yarning, haven't we?
Hey?
We've been kind of yarning a bit.
That's okay. We can do health and safety next week potentially, I guess. We'll see how we go. Privacy Act is also another interesting one that's really important for HR.
Yeah.
Okay, because you know, think about the documentation you're collecting. You're collecting people's interview sheets, collecting people's performance management information, qualifications, CVs. What are you doing with that information? How do you manage it? How do you deal with it? So we're covered by the Privacy Act, and that, you know, principles 1 to 4 sort of look at the collection of that personal information. Why are we collecting it?
Yeah.
Where do we collect it from? How is it collected? Principle 5, we look at how is it stored? How do we keep it? Where do we file it? How is it secure?
Yeah.
Principle 6, we actually have the right to request access to information about ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Employers don't necessarily have to give you access, but you have the right to request it. But you also have the right to correct any information that might be held on file about yourself.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so they don't actually have to correct it,
Yeah.
but they do have to. They do have to consider your request for that principle.
Why would you want information that's not correct?
Privacy is, I think you do have to. Yeah, no, sorry, they do have to give you access to the information, but they don't have to. They don't have to correct that information if you ask them to correct it, because they may not agree. Okay, that was the difference. Principles 8 to 11 look at how they can disclose personal information. So ensuring that it's up to date and that it isn't improperly disclosed. So that's looking at how do they pass on information to a third party. You know, what happens if the police come asking for, you know, information about an employee of yours? You know,
Yeah.
can you pass that information on or not? I don't actually know.
I'm sure no, because
Well, if it's the police and they've got a warrant, I guess they can. Yeah, but if they, I would assume that they would follow the process where, you know, a warrant would be relevant documentation that would give them permission to release that information.
that's probably a good one to know. So.
Yeah. It was probably other scenarios. obviously the Information Privacy Act covers more than HR. It covers, a lot of
Yeah.
marketing and things as well.
It
So
covers
this
a
is
lot.
really
Yeah.
relevant for organisations passing on client information.
Yeah.
Or, student information. We're quite covered by what we can and can't do with student information.
Yeah.
That's why it's all in the fine print on the enrolment form.
And it kind of reminds me of this Facebook thing as well. Facebook data.
Oh yeah, Facebook data and security and privacy issues,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. And that's when it gets quite interesting when Facebook is an international company,
Yeah.
but when they're operating in New Zealand, are they covered by New Zealand legislation or not? How does that work?
Or, yeah, how does that work? Exactly.
Actually, forever there was probably in the commercial wallpaper we used to run, and probably there's a bit more insight into some of that. Old. Yes, exactly. But you can look up, the privacy principles and the Privacy Act. But the problem is when you read the legislation, it's about how do you apply it into the real world.
Yeah.
So it's like dealing with specific cases and things.
Mm.
Principle 12 looks at how we use unique identifiers, so like an employee code number or IRD numbers, bank account numbers, passport numbers. So how do we actually identify people? We use student ID numbers and we use NSN numbers. So you basically need to be able to use a unique identifier, but keep those clear and not disclose them in a rah-rah. So those are all, the Privacy Act around how we need to consider keeping our staff, employee information safe. And that, a lot of organisations now rely on HR information systems to help support that process. So the technology support is quite significant. Now you can access your pay on your phone, the security code, enter your leave online, but who and you can set those up so that managers have access to the relevant information, but other staff don't. So the need to think through how you manage information in the organisation. We've moved a long way from having sort of paper files. When I started working here at the Polytech, I started working in HR, and one of my jobs was to update the leave records, and we still use the old file index cards.
Yes.
So all the leave was recorded on index cards.
Yeah.
In a little box. Okay. So we've moved a lot. Now I'm showing my age, but we have moved a long way from then to now.
Because how long have you been here?
I started work here in 2004 as doing summer work in the whole student in the holidays basically.
Yeah.
So then I went to study in 2005, came back in the summer of 2005, 6. Went away, went and studied again in 2006, and then was employed when I finished at the end of 2006.
Oh, yeah.
Masters. So. And then since then I've been off. I leave, I was half-time HR and half-time teaching.
Oh, yeah.
Then I did that for 2 years, and then I became head of department for business and computing.
Oh, yeah.
For 3 years. And then I took redundancy when they restructured and went travelling for 6 months.
Oh,
and then I came back as a contract tutor. Then I came back as a part-time tutor, and then I came back as I've just been a tutor ever since.
Yeah.
Part-time or full-time, varied. Essentially. And obviously went off on maternity leave for 9 months when Elsie was born.
Yeah.
And now I've got for another 9 months.
Yeah.
I think you need a break from a place every now and again if you're going to last for that long.
Yeah, it's quite a while, eh?
Yeah.
Must be good though.
Well, they're essentially, it's a good place to work,
Yeah.
Despite all the problems and the
Yeah.
publicity, it's actually, we get well looked after.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
I've already tried to apply for like several roles there. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
There, a lot of people
Yeah, I bet.
will be applying. So
Oh, yeah, I know.
it'll be tough competition. But if you need a referee or anything like that, or help with the CV,
Oh, yeah.
have a look at that as well. Totally happy to look at that. Okay, so maybe we'll do health and safety next week, because
Yeah.
that's probably a meaty enough topic in and of
Yeah,
itself.
I'd say so.
And then we've just got, I think, only a couple more topics to do after that.
Yeah.
Okay. How are you going with the course forums? A little bit
Same,
behind.
same as always.
Same as always?
Same as always. I will get there, I know. I will.
Okay.
Everything's going to be much after today.